This is not a fashion channel. If you want consistent critique of Meghan Markle's questionable fashion choices, go look up videos by Biebs Kelly or River, Taz, Ibble Dibble, Real Housewives recaps, Lady Colin Campbell, or even H.G. Tudor, though I have to admit I'm terribly sick of Mr. Tudor running through his list of cutie pie nicknames for her more ridiculous outfits, and that is starting to distract from his otherwise intriguing and unrelated to fashion commentary. HG, take note. We are already familiar with Pooh Emoji Hat, Burst Tomato Woman, and Chairman Mao Goes to Harlem. You really need not list them all in every video. We already understand you're clever. No, this is not a fashion channel. Fashion, while I love every little bit of it, is for me in greatest part a spectator sport, so I don't feel particularly qualified to comment, for one thing. For another thing, we can all see with our own eyes how Meghan turns herself out. We can see for ourselves how foolish she looks most of the time, trotting around in clothing that doesn't fit her, skirts that have never seen an iron, blouses and dresses that are too tight, and shoes that are too comically big for her feet. What really needs to be said after we see? It's like commenting that the child we're sitting next to at the restaurant, who is climbing upon his chair, stamping his feet, bleeding for another maraschino cherry, and wailing at the top of his mighty lungs when he doesn't get it immediately, is a brat. Captain Obvious People. It goes without saying. Anyway, there are so many things to talk about that are so much juicier when it comes to Meghan Markle. Her cringy self-regard and her clumsy, seemingly constant attempts to promote herself being at the top of my own personal list. However, in this instance, I will make an exception. What is this? I have heard this get-up described in various ways, but the best one, the one that encompasses the image that sprang to my mind first thing I saw it, Meghan Markle chose to wear a straitjacket to an event on World Mental Health Day. She showed up to meet with grieving parents, people who'd lost children to online violence or bullying, her shoulders all out there as if she'd just sat up in bed and pulled the sheet up to cover her boobalicious bits. In all her short life as a royal, and then in the years since she's thrown the royals over, she has rarely been able to read the room and dress in a way that was altogether appropriate for the occasion. But this just, this takes the cake. This is not Tuesday afternoon go-to-meeting with bereaved parents clothing. This is not business wear. This is not day wear. This is what you wear to the asylum when you feel the need to check in for a spell. And this isn't the first time Meghan has sported the straitjacket look. Several years ago, before she dumped the royal family, she wore a straitjacket when she was on an official outing with the Queen. Meghan clearly likes the straitjacket aesthetic. I have seen this look before, years and years ago, on Project Runway. The otherwise truly gifted young designer Helen Castillo, or Helen Castillo, I don't know how she pronounces it, and I apologize in advance for mispronouncing it if I have. Anyway, this designer showed this straitjacket look, and I recall that Heidi Klum had a real problem with it. How do you use your arms in that dress? I remember her asking. How do you hold a drink at a cocktail party in that thing if you can't use your arms? Well, hell if I know, but Meghan likes it. Yeah, Meghan has a history of choosing the most bafflingly inappropriate outfits. Let me point out just one other. That engagement gown? Contrast, if you will, the elegant way in which Catherine Middleton and Prince William approached their engagement photo call. Like the young but happy and fully formed adults they are, striding into the photo shoot, each on his or her own, confident and celebratory and in suitable clothing. A dark suit and an attractive, well-fitted, dark blue $600 day dress off the rack. Meghan, on the other hand, chose a $75,000 totally sheer evening gown to go cavorting in broad daylight on the grounds of Frogmore, where she clung to Harry like a toddler who got ready for an outing with Daddy from the dress-up bin and was now afraid of losing him in the shopping mall. As a side note, to my knowledge, she has never worn that $75,000 dress again. Enlighten me in the comments if she has put this over-the-top costume to further use. And so to the juicier bit. You knew we'd get to the juice sooner or later, right? The juicier bit is why Meghan Markle chooses to wear such glaringly inappropriate get-ups. An evening gown for an afternoon romp, and a straitjacket to meet with grieving parents in the first place. She wore that outfit to stand out, to wear something weird as a signal to people that they should look at her, to draw attention away from the grief at hand to her own admittedly toned and buffed shoulders. There is nothing more important, not even lost children, to Meghan Markle than Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle's need to draw attention to herself at every turn, no matter who or what is being sacrificed in order to get eyes on her on World Mental Health Day, is another example of her rampant egomania. And as these things go, it is a small example, but only because, since she brushed off the royal family, the platform from which she can direct attention has grown steadily smaller. I don't think she actually knows how minuscule is the real estate from which she currently speaks. I think she still thinks she's some kind of hotshot big deal. But for the rest of us, who do know how she's shrunk in stature, the rest of us can rest easy knowing that for all her efforts, she's not going to make much of an impact in the larger world and so cause most of us any trouble. Only irritation. But rampant egomania on a larger platform? That's Donald Trump. That's Donald Trump giving away top secret information and throwing a close ally under the bus in a time of war in order to pump up his own self-image and soothe his fragile sense of self. That's Donald Trump normalizing his need for submission by tearing down the morale and the morals of his sycophants to the point that, well, for example, Ronna Romney McDaniel, the titular head of the RNC and Mitt Romney's cousin, has become as much of a monster as Donald Trump is. Ronna is so under Trump's thumb she not only takes her marching orders from him, but all on her own comes up with the idea that the horrific Hamas attack on Israel might present an opportunity for Republicans, and then says that completely insane and horrifyingly cynical thing out loud. Ronna Romney McDaniel thinks dead children are good for the Republican Party. This is what signing on to Trump's lunacy and delusion and cruelty makes people do. So when, or if, Meghan decides she's actually going to do something like produce a movie or star in a movie or run for the United States Senate, we all have an obvious example of what she'll turn into. We already know what she can do to her sycophants. Poor Harry. And we all know what we will be required to do when she does. Say no at the ticket booth, or the ballot box, or wherever it is relevant to turn Meghan Markle away. The world, not to mention world peace and individual sanity, just can't accommodate to Donald Trumps in one lifetime. If Meghan sees her currently skimpy platform growing even a few more inches, she won't be the only one who will have to wear a straitjacket. If you like what we're doing here at The Authentig, hit the thumbs up to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a comment too. We love to read what's on your mind. Thank you for watching.